take out some of them ridiculous spots. There's no reason that we need to have a match with exploding barbed wire. There's no reason that we need to put somebody through a flaming table. There's no real reason that we need to slam somebody on thumbtacks. For what? Because majority of the time, even when we do those real dangerous spots, or we really, step into the deep end of the pool and try to get, the quote unquote hardcore matches, nobody remembers them. If you're going to do something like that, it should be a memorable moment. It should make sense. It should matter. What's going on, everybody? My name is Wanye Picante, and you're now tuned in to WrestleHolics Radio. Today, I want to talk about something, and I know majority of times when people get on this platform, the only thing they want to do is bash. The only thing they want to do is talk about how terrible something is or how unrealistic something is. Today, I want to do something different. Today, I want to talk to you about some of the things that I feel like AEW could do better. And not necessarily from a sense of bashing them, but just some of the things that I've seen. So the first thing that I want to take a look at is their overall booking. Now, for the most part, for their main wrestlers, they book them. But the problem is a lot of times, some of the matches that aren't a part of the storyline, it doesn't make sense.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Case in point, you had Jon Moxley wrestle Powerhouse Hobbs in almost a meaningless match, which Powerhouse Hobbs got injured. That doesn't make sense when Jon Moxley is one of the staples of the brand that is AEW. I mean, we're talking about the man that had 3 title reigns. We're talking about essentially your champion that had some random match just because we wanted to put it on TV. I guess I get it, but at the same time, I don't. Why not book him in some type of good storyline or make use of him just winning that IWJP title? I feel like that was just a missed opportunity. I understand that AEW has a lot of affiliations with the Indies, New Japan, Ring of Honor. I get that, but I feel like we could have done something a little bit better. Because if I'm not mistaken, I believe after that match, I believe it was Takeshita came out, who represents the Don Callis family, and was like, motioned the championship like he wanted it from him or something. But like I say, you gotta make the matches make sense. Going forward again, then after you make the matches make sense, or to help assist in making the matches make sense, you could actually create storylines and stick to them.
It's facts! It's facts! It's not facts, it's not facts. It's not facts.
Because sometimes I feel like we will start a storyline and we'll completely get off topic. We'll get derailed. Something will happen, or we'll just completely change lanes without even turning on the blinker. And that makes for a hard product to watch and follow, because it's like, okay, I think I know what's going on. He's in a feud with this guy, but out of nowhere, he'll either get thrown into a tag team with somebody else, or, just something random will happen. I think my next big thing that I've started to question is like the marketing of it. I understand that the whole premise of AEW is to focus on the wrestling, and really not do the commercial gimmicky stuff that WWE does. But if you don't do that, you can't really let your wrestlers do anything else but wrestle. they should garner a certain level of stardom, so a certain level of cachet because of who they are, what they represent, and how they carry themselves. Understandably, MJF was marketable, but who was he really marketable to? You know, he's not kid friendly. He's more, adult based. And I get that. Hey, that may have been the targeted audience that we have for him. But you're missing out on opportunities to be able to do that.
He's right,
A good comparison would be the Street Profits and Bianca Belair. The Street Profits have been in, I think about 2 or 3 actual commercials, national commercials. Bianca Belair, most notably, she has her commercial with Cricket Wireless. Now I know what you're thinking. It's just Cricket. Why does that matter? It matters because you're getting her exposed. You're getting people to get eyes on her that normally wouldn't, or who wouldn't normally pay any attention, but because, oh yeah, that's Bianca Belair. It's just like if you were trying to sell a product. The same reason that we have commercials is because the more that it's in your face, it's shown, repetition, sooner or later you're gonna question about it, or you're gonna inquire about it. And that's all it takes, because Bianca Belair is a character who is marketable, intriguing, and kid friendly. You'd be like, all right, maybe let's take a look. You'd be more apt to believe in her or participate or even engage with who she is. Another big thing that they had was the TV show. Now, I know a lot of people gave, flack that Bianca Belair and Montez Ford had their own TV show on Hulu, but again, that's bringing more eyes and more heat to WWE. There's nobody really on the AEW roster that you could give a show to. There's nobody up there that's, I would say, aside from their in-ring ability, they're not interesting. They don't pull you into their personal life. The only, I'd say, couple or, people of interest you could do that with would honestly be Dr. Britt Baker and Adam Cole. Being able to kind of see how they live, how they balance, her being a literal dentist and him being a professional wrestler. How he could have, navigated coming back from injury, her dealing with that. Like, that would have been good TV. You could have marketed that. You could have had a great opportunity to be able to give something fresh, to go outside of your traditional catch us on Collision, catch us on Dynamite, catch us on Rampage. Like, no. And then the commercials that do run for AEW on TNT and TBS are just clips of matches, or shadow shots of your wrestlers just behind green screens or in front of green screens, yelling. Like, no, that's not real marketing. Yeah, I get it, it's showing the ferocity of them, but everybody that's into wrestling is not that deep into the physical aspect of who they are. That's the main reason why we like gimmicks that the wrestlers have. The Undertaker, he had the gimmick that he was the undead, he was the phenom, he was, like, oh man, you gotta wrestle the Undertaker. There's nobody in AEW that you really has a moniker. It's like, oh man, you don't want to wrestle him. Like, oh man, I gotta wrestle that guy. It's just, they're just not over and pushed enough as the superstars that they are. Because honestly, the work that they put in, the effort, the amount of sacrifice, the time, the effort, the nutritional restrictions that they have to be on to be in peak physical form. Come on, man. They deserve better than that. And then I think my third thing is the in-ring action. like I said before, if we're focusing on AEW being all elite wrestling, then the in-ring matches should show that. We should be getting banger matches. But a lot of times, it's all mediocre.
Oh, shit.
And I hate to put it that way, but majority of times when I'm watching AEW, even when they go to picture-in-picture, I'm more interested in the commercial. Just because I already know that during that match, if they're at a commercial break, there's nothing gonna happen. Majority of the time, it's one person standing over somebody, or, somebody trying to recover, or it's when they do some dangerous spot for no reason. And it's like, don't you go anywhere. We'll be right here in picture. There's nothing in the picture. The picture should show something. The picture should give us something to continue to watch for. It's no reason that a Glade plug-in commercial should grab my attention more than the wrestling show that I'm watching. Like, come on, man. It should be so good that I don't want to take my eyes off the match. And I understand that we have to have commercials, but again, even if we have those, there should be enough build-up, enough goodness in the match to keep me interested. A lot of times I know for myself, I get sidetracked. When they go to commercial break, man, depending on who it is, majority of the time I look down at my phone. Or I'm, trying to check social media, or I'm trying to find some news or something. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. It's wild. But another big thing that I've really started to see is that too many wrestlers get hurt. And yes, I understand. You're going to say, oh, it's wrestling. Oh, we can't predict who's going to get hurt. Yes, you can. Take out some of them ridiculous spots. There's no reason that we need to have a match with exploding barbed wire. There's no reason that we need to put somebody through a flaming table. There's no real reason that we need to slam somebody on thumbtacks. For what? Because majority of the time, even when we do those real dangerous spots, or we really, step into the deep end of the pool and try to get, the quote unquote hardcore matches, nobody remembers them. If you're gonna do something like that, it should be a memorable moment. It should make sense. It should matter. Like you can't just do something just for the sake of doing something. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a blood and guts match. Like, okay, cool, but is it for a belt? No. Is it somebody that's really been beefing? Nah. They've had a couple skirmishes. Like, I just think that I don't know. I love AEW. I really do. I like that it's different, but there's a lot of times where I just feel like I don't know what I'm watching. I honestly get confused. There are times where, dare I say it, I feel like I'm watching TNA. I feel like I'm watching Ring of Honor. And not just for the sake of the familiar faces, the green wrestlers that they bring up to be jobbers. No, it's not even just that. It's just we're getting to a place where AEW is becoming the great value version of WWE. And we're missing a lot of the key things that could make AEW a very dominant wrestling promotion. I don't know. I just think that there are some big misses and some changes that could make AEW great again. Well, that's all the time we have for today, guys. Hey, once again, this is Wanye Picante. Thank you for tuning in to WrestleHolics Radio. Please, if you agree or even if you disagree with anything that I said, please put it down in the comments. Let's have a dialogue. Let's have a discussion. Because maybe you're seeing something that I'm not. Maybe you can shed some light on some things that I'm just missing out on. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is about. It's about us being able to communicate with each other and really share thoughts, points, and ideas so that way we can enjoy wrestling together. Well, that's it, guys. Much love. Thank you.